Hello, greetings to everyone, and welcome to Acadex Higher Engineering Academy, building your engineering career, the gateway into professionalism. Today in this video, we are going to be looking at the competitive entrance examination into the National Advanced School of Public Works, Yaoundé. For the sake of self-presentation, I am Sir Godwill Yakum. So, we are going to be looking at the general knowledge of École Nationale Supérieure des Travaux Publics, and that will base ourselves on the 2015 session, and then we are also going to include some few questions to it. So if you like the video, do well to click a like, make good comments about the video, and equally share the video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos notification. Or in case you wish to contact us, you can contact us via this number, or via the email acadexcognitive@gmail.com. Let's get started. Well, like I said, we're going to be doing general knowledge, but we're going to start with a brief. We are going to have some few questions on English language and French. Remember, it's also part of the exam, so let me categorize it and call all general knowledge. Now we are going to have start with the English part, and then I'm going to display the questions to you, with the correct answer highlighted in blue. No, in green. I'm going to highlight the correct option in green, and then I'll do the explanation in case if necessary. Let's get started. Number 1. Have you dashed the rules that will govern the association? Have you laid the rule? In fact, there's no need for explanation. Number 2. The dresses are for you. They are dash. They are yours. Yes. B. She is very sad because dash of her needs has been met. She is very sad because none of her needs has been met. None means none. Number 4. We ought to have visited the principal. We ought to have visited the principal. We ought. So, isn't it is already wrong. Many people will take isn't it, but it's already wrong. Shouldn't it? No. So, we ought to have visited the principal. Now, if there was didn't we, it would have been the best option in this question. Didn't we? Remember, this question comes from the topic question tag in English language, and in question tag we use auxiliary verbs, and if there is the verb is different from the verb to be or the verb to have and the verb to do, if you say any other different verb, then we are simply going to use the verb to do as the auxiliary in that to form the tag. And now when the question is positive, or when the statement is positive, the tag is supposed to be negative. So here, we ought to have visited is a positive statement, so the tag must be negative. But now all these options are wrong, and the only option that can be correct there is option C. And I'm saying that if there was an option didn't we, it would have been the best option. Number 5. We don't have to stay at home. We don't have. Now it's still the same topic, question tag. We don't have to stay at home. And the statement here, we don't have to stay at home, is a negative statement. We don't. It's a negative statement, meaning that the tag must be positive. So don't you, wrong. In fact, you don't. Sorry, you don't. No, we don't. Do you is correct because the statement is negative and the tag must be positive. So you don't have to stay at home, do you? Alright, number 6. I have seen your book. The teacher informed me that dash A, he has seen my book. Okay, now when you read a question, it talks about it is directed towards directed and reported speech. I have seen your book. That's what the teacher said. Then now you are reporting. The teacher informed me that he had seen my book. So please take note. Not he has seen my book. He had seen, because you are reporting. Have you visited the school since 1990? The principal asked the old boys whether they had visited. So we see option B has the correct answer. Number 8. She did not remember to ask him why. Why dash so abruptly? So let's take options and fit. She did not remember to ask him why he had left so abruptly, or why should you have left? No. All right, so from all evaluation, my correct option for this question 8 was A. She did not remember to ask him why he had left so abruptly. All right, so all this one, why did he leave, all this nonsense, they are wrong. Number 9, the second to last question in this section. The teachers as well as the pupil were disappointed because teachers and pupil is a plural already, so we cannot be using is and we cannot be using was. Now the only two options in our mind is A and C. Okay, now that's disappointed when they publish the result last week, and then now publish is in the past tense, meaning that is already off topic. Is in the present, so we're going to have our correct option as what? A. And the last question now, which of the following has the same meaning with the word place? Is site. Now site, all of you, we all know that site is it mean place. This site here is to, how can I say, site with C is to list, make a list. Then set, the set of real numbers, set of natural numbers. This seat is a chair, a seat, a seat. Now voila, we move on to the French part. Question 1. It reads, but now the instruction says, pour chaque phrase ci-dessus, choisissez le mot manquant parmi les options proposées. It means that what? It means that among for the phrases below, or for the statements below, choose the missing words. In fact, choose the missing word from the options. So we have so many options to choose the word that is missing. I'm just going to display. There's no need to explain. Il regarde dash bon film à l'écran. So he's watching a nice film on the screen. The correct option is C, un bon film. So we cannot be talking of une. Now we need to know the proper use of this and this, because there are cases where you must use this and there are cases where you must use but une, and there are others that you just need to get used to it, and then it's like memorize. Okay. Number 2, le matin ma mère va acheter des choses au marché. Des choses. So the choses here, we are seeing choses are in plural. It's in the former pluriel. So because of the S, so we cannot take this one. That's why we are taking option what? D. Oh, in fact, this thing is wasting my time. Well, and the last question, voila, that is it for for French. Ma sœur et moi, my sister and I. It forms the pronoun we. Nous. Nous apprenons nos leçons. Voilà. So you see that this one is wrong, this one is wrong, this one is wrong. Simply, okay, apprenons. Why apprendons? You see why this one is wrong now? Because this one is apprendons and it is wrong French. It's wrong spelling. But we say nous apprenons. So that's why this one, option B, is correct. Les filles se sont laver les mains avant de manger. Se sont laver. So it's passé composé now. Yeah. So well, let's move on to the general knowledge part of the. Alright. In a federal state, the central government retains power in one of these. In education, that's the correct answer. In a federal state, the central government retains power in one of these. So the central government retains power in education. Number 2. One state symbol is the coat of arms. Do we need to be explaining this? Now, why state symbols? These are things that we did in primary school. State symbols are also called state symbols, national symbols. Yeah, they are also called national symbols. What are national symbols? They are symbols that differentiate a country from another. It differentiate one state from another. So we have a number of them: the coat of arms, the flag, the national anthem, the seal. So among all, we have just one here, which is the coat of arms. The nearest planet to the sun is Mercury. Then the planet that supports life is Earth. The moon is not a planet. When the sun is at the Tropic of Cancer, the season in Europe is summer. When last did Cameroon host AFCON? When last did Cameroon host AFCON? AFCON, what's the full meaning of AFCON? African Cup of Nations. So, the African Cup of Nations in Cameroon, well, in these options here, as of the time that this exam was written, because this is general knowledge of 2015. So the latest AFCON that was hosted by Cameroon as of this time was in 1992. How many countries make up the economic community of West African states? The African best player of all time is the African best player of all times is, alright, the African best is from, alright, now we are having the countries. We don't have the name of the players. So the African best player of all times from Ivory Coast is from Cameroon. Why? Because Cameroon is Africa in nature now. So the African best player of all times, meaning that over the years, the best African players or the best football players in Africa have been from Cameroon. We can cite examples that we already know. Which arm of the government ensures the strict interpretation of the law? So the police is not an arm of the government. The judiciary, correct. So we have the judiciary, which we have the legislative, not the legislature. So it's also wrong. There are 3 arms of the government. We have the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive. These are the 3 arms of the government. The presidency is not an arm of the government, and the army is not an arm of the government. Now, what's the duty of the judiciary? They ensure the availability of law and the right interpretation of law, and Now that's the judiciary. No, no, that is the legislative. The legislative are the lawmakers. The lawmakers, the legislative, they are the lawmakers. They ensure the availability of law. Legislative. And then now the judiciary, they ensure the strict interpretation of law. So and then the executive, they now execute the decision of the judiciary. So the judiciary has to do with the courts of law, that ensure the strict interpretation of laws in Cameroon. All right, so we take note of that. In what year was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights promulgated? In what year? In which year? Or in what year? In what year was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? So that was 1948. The University of Bamenda is found in one of these divisions. The University of Bamenda is found in it's not Gorkitonja, it's not Menchum, not Momo. It's found in Mezam division. Dog, am I right? Okay. Number 11. How many oceans are there in the world? If we name all the oceans in the world that are recognized, then we'll find out that we have 7 oceans in the world. Cameroon will next host the African Cup of Nations. Alright. Like I said, this was of the time as of the time when this particular exam was written. So Cameroon already hosted the African Cup of Nations of 2021. Cameroon will next host the Dash edition of African Cup of Nations. So we know that the last edition of the African Cup of Nations that was hosted in Cameroon was the 33rd edition of African Cup of Nations. 13. Cameroon African Cup of Nations. Cameroon African Cup of Nations. How many countries competing? Alright, so here we are evaluating the number of countries that were competing in the AFCON that was hosted in Cameroon. And I can quite remember there were 24 African countries. Ethics is the branch of studies which deals with the ethics. So the big word that we need to define here is ethics. It deals with the morality of human action. I think that's correct. In fact, there's not explained. That's okay. Ethics deals with the morality of human action, behavior of human beings. Yes, it does not deal with the behavior. It does not study human behavior. It's not economics. And then thought of human beings. No. So the best answer already is A, morality of human action. It does not mean that I'm not reading the other option. I already read it when I was producing this. So my answer is A. So you take time and you go through the paper, you go through the video. In case you have any question, you drop it in the comment section and I will view it and respond to you, maybe instantly. How many states universities are there in Cameroon? So as of that time, there were 8 state universities in Cameroon, but as of now, there have been the addition of the University of Gawa, which was not yet there. Fundamental principles of morality are the same for all societies and cultures. This is because all human beings are the same. Never. All human beings can never be the same, and you know that, but some people will still go and take A. All human beings are good. Then why are bad things happening in the world? All human beings can never be good. All human beings are rational and social beings. Correct. All human beings are human beings. All human beings behave the same way. So we have our answer in C. Which sickness is caused by low blood pressure? Hypertension, if you don't know. CEMAC Head States Summit 2021 held in Cameroon. Which day? August 18. It was one Wednesday. How many Chinese hospitals exist in Cameroon? 3 Chinese hospitals. Which of these? So you can also try to name them, or you ask me in the comment section. Which of these is not a characteristic of schooling? Has a special period? Yes, schooling always have a special period. You don't school all throughout. Taught by professionals. That's true. You need to be taught by someone who is a professional, who has been trained in the field. Schooling is life lasting. It's also true to an extent, not just like that. Schooling, looking at schooling, not education. There's a difference between schooling and education. Now, schooling is when you actually how can I put it? We all know already. But education is the one that is life lasting, because you keep learning new things every day. But schooling is not life lasting. My grandfather is no more going to school right now, but he's still learning things. So, and then schooling can end, and you can decide to end your schooling at a particular level, but you will never decide to end your to stop knowledge, to stop learning of new things. Now, certificate at the end. It's true. Any course, any school, or I can even if I open up, I'm a professional maybe in graphic designing, I can open up a graphic design school. So it has a particular period. You come, I'm a professional, I'm teaching, but now it can never be life lasting. Then I will offer a certificate at the end of the training, and then I must follow a particular program. So option D, I must also follow a particular program when teaching you. Then the only option here that is not a characteristic of schooling is C. Okay, we proceed to question 19. Justice requires that all human beings should be treated unduly, righteously, with equity. What is equity? That's another word here that you all need to know, because not everybody has ideas about law. Equality, good. That's the correct answer. According to each person's standard in the society. That's what may happen sometimes, but no, that's not what justice requires. So anytime that people are treated according to their standards in the society, we now call it injustice. It's no longer justice, it's injustice. So justice requires that all human beings, little like small, despite your academic qualification, despite your professional status or your standard in the society, you must be treated equally. Like you must have equal rights. So that is it. Now, talking about equity or righteously, we cannot talk of treating all human beings righteously. I hope we know that. And then treating all human beings with equity. That's the big word that I wanted to explain here. What is equity? Equity simply is like a way of fairness, treating with impartiality, without being partial, treating human beings without being partial, and then something of that sort. Treating with being fair. Yes, that's to say, to be fair to everybody. It's true that somebody has stolen, then instead of trying to impose the penalties of stealing on that person, you instead try to look at the circumstances that the person was going through before stealing. So that one is equity, because when you look at the circumstances, you see that he has not eaten for 3 weeks, then it gives him room to steal. Now the discipline that you were to give him, you will now reduce it. So that's what equity is. But justice does not require that all human beings should be treated with equity. Rather, all human beings should be treated with equality. What kind of behavior should a teacher encourage in his learners? A. Anyway, the answer is C. You can be reading that. The governor of the West region. Adolphe Lele Lafrique, wrong. Joseph Betty Asomo, no. Our Fonka Augustine. In fact, Joseph Betty Asomo is not a governor, if you don't know. And Jules Marceline is not also a governor. So the governors that we have here, we have Adolphe Lele Lafrique, who is the governor of the Northwest region. And then we have our Fonka Augustine. And then here we have Bernard Okalai Bilai. No. There's an error. Adolphe Lele Lafrique is the governor of the Northwest region, like I already said. But now, we need the governor of the West region. The West region, the governor of the West region is our Fonka Augustine, not Fonkam. There's not M there. So, but actually, I just copied as it was. So, but that's the correct answer. That is our Fonka Augustine, not Bernard Okalai Bilai, because Okalai Bilai Bernard is the governor of the Southwest region, not the West. He's the governor of the Southwest region. Meanwhile, the governor of the West region is our Fonka Augustine. How many countries make up the United Nations Organization, UNO?